All right, what's up, guys, and welcome to Gaming History 101's Buyer's Guide segments. I'm doing these basically for the Christmas season because lots of people buy retro consoles nowadays, and not a whole lot of people know what things look like or what they kind of need when they're buying a new console. Probably not the case with the one I'm doing today. As you guys can see, it's the iconic NES system. But we're going to have many more buyer's guides like these over the next coming days, and so you definitely want to check it out. Plus, if you go to Gaming History 101, you can see the inventory of exactly what you need, what you should buy, what you should look for, and what you should know. But this will just give you a brief overview on the video. I should also point out that the game that appears for the console in this video, as well as many others, are all part of a contest. You can win all of these games as one big fun Christmas bundle by entering our contest, which you can find information on at gaminghistory101.com. Alright, so here we go. This is the Nintendo Entertainment System, or the NES. Probably one of the most influential, if not the most influential consoles of all time. This is obviously the North American version. So this is what it looks like. It'll have a door when you're purchasing. You definitely want to make sure you've got a door that properly works. Just play with the buttons, make sure they do it. It's not plugged in. That light blinked because of residual power that's on there. And then if you look in the back, you should see three things. There's a power supply, an RF adapter, and then a switch for channel 2 and 3. You'll also notice on the side there'll be an audio and a video port. So here's what you definitely want to make sure you get with your NES. First of all, the cords to hook it up. You will get an AC adapter. Here's mine. If you can see try to shine some light on it, but the Nintendo font is kind of the old school Nintendo font. I'm sure that looks horrible. But anyway, you want to make sure that this particular AC adapter is a 9-volt 1.3 amp. You definitely want to make sure you have the right power supply because incorrect power supplies can burn out even though the plug fits. Most of the time with these you will see this, which came with the console. It's the RF adapter. Screws into the little coaxial port on the back of basically every TV I know of. And then this part, this single plug that kind of looks like an RCA cable, goes into the RF port on the back. Some of you, though, prefer composite video like me. It's not an analog signal, doesn't get radio frequency interference, and the way you make that work is obviously you plug into these side panels right over here. Problem is that there's only one audio and there's one video. Well, for those that know about composite video, it's because the Nintendo was mono. It wasn't stereo. But with a lot of TVs, if you only plug in like just the red or just the white, you will only get mono and thus most of the time get sound only out of one speaker. So if you don't like that, the simple solution is to get something that looks kind of like this. You'll find it at Radio Shack and various other places, and it will be super overpriced, probably about $10 these days. But it has a single RCA on one end, and it's got two, here I'll show you, two female RCAs on the other end. And what this allows you to do is basically take your red and your white. Alright, sorry about that. Take your red and your white, hook them together, and then you've got a single cable. Plug those in, and boom, you've got stereo coming out. Alright, now technically we've got accessories. One of the accessories, which you should hopefully get with your system, is a Nintendo controller. This is the official Nintendo one. There weren't a whole lot of knockoffs back in those days. This is probably the one you want. It's probably in your best interest to get a second controller. Why? Because lots of NES games were 2-player. Some were even 4-player. It's always good to have. Another thing, if you're a light gun enthusiast like me, is this. This is the Nintendo Zapper. This is it's just a gun peripheral. Basically plugs into your console, allows you to play shooter games, the most popular probably being Duck Hunt, but there were many others, such as Hogan's Alley and Gumshoe, to name a couple. Definitely very useful. Now, I need to warn you, those of you who have LCD TVs, HD TVs, projection TVs, you cannot use these on those TVs. This is one of the many reasons why it might be worth your while to have an HD or an SD television or a picture tube television so that you can use one of these. but a lot of people don't care, and they're not going to let it be their deal breaker. But something to think about. Last but not least, we've got the Nintendo game. I don't have a boxed game especially to give away, but this will be part of our contest, and this is one of the games you will win. It is Tiger Heli for the NES. These are how they look. You'll usually see on the spine here the game designed so that you can put it on shelves and stuff like that, and you can still read what the game is. You'll get the more fancy box art on there, and this is basically what the cartridges look like. For the most part, they all look like this. Some of them do change later on when you get into unlicensed and rare carts, and obviously the Zelda ones will be gold. As you can see with this one, this is three screw. For those that want to know about Nintendo carts, there's two types. There's three screw and 5 screw. 5 screw were before these little notches right here were added on to help hold the cartridge together. That's why those will be flat on 5 screw. 5 screws hold them together. If you are looking for one of the rare games that has the Famicom adapter built into it, so you unscrew these screws, they will be simple Phillips head if they are a 5 screw. You take it apart. Sometimes there's an adapter attached to a Famicom cartridge. This, being a 3 screw and being old, or newer, sorry, will definitely not be one of them. Anyway, and then it's always good to have, but they'll rarely have them, are the little fun sleeves that came with it. The Nintendo official ones will say Nintendo, as this game was not an official Nintendo licensed game. I will not say that. But anyway, so there you go. And that, my friends, is the NES. There was a secondary model that was available on the market. It top-loaded up here, kind of looked like a Super Nintendo, and had the dog bone controllers, as they call them. It looked like a dog bone with 2 circles on either side. Again, more emulating the SNES. For the NES these days, it's December 2012 for context. You're probably looking at, if you're lucky, getting a $40 console. More than likely, you're going to probably pay more like $50 to $75, depending on where in the country you're at and what kind of condition you want. Boxed copies of the console can go for $100 and rising. So there are plenty of other accessories like that. There is an accessories section on Gaming History 101 where I talk about all the fun accessories for the NES. But for now, this is the console. Enjoy, and check out our write-up on GamingHistory101.com.